So yes, we have started our chapter photosynthesis. Photo means light and synthesis means making. So as we know that green leaves prepare food with the help of the sunlight, water, chlorophyll, carbon dioxide, right? And they form the glucose. So photosynthesis is what? It is a physical process, chemical process, or both? Physico-chemical process. Yes, guys. Can we say photosynthesis is a physico-chemical process, right? By which green plants use all these four things: sunlight, water, carbon dioxide, right? So it is a physico-chemical process. Okay, so guys, in this chapter we have to study like about the many scientists. Okay, so let's take first. So first scientist we have the Joseph Priestley. So Joseph Priestley performed many experiments and he finally revealed that essential role of air in the growth of the plant. Okay, like if like I'm going to tell you. So scientist name was Joseph Priestley. One second. Joseph Priestley. This is RI. Okay. So what he did actually, suppose if you have a container like that, okay, and there was a candle in that. So if there was a candle and there was a mouse, suppose I'm just making a rough mouse, okay, rat you can say. So candle was also burning and mouse was also alive. But after some time, we saw candle was not burning, okay, there is no glow in the candle and rat just died. So why rat was not alive and candle is also not glowing? Why is it so? Can we say because the oxygen which were present there, okay, yeah, which was present there, so now it has been completely used up by what? By rat and the burning candle. Am I right? So that burning candle was placed in a closed space, okay, and it get extinguished in very short time. Why? Because they have taken up the oxygen, right? Both rat and the candle. So, but after that, Joseph Priestley put a plant in that. Joseph Priestley put a plant in that. Suppose this is a plant, okay, and there is a burning candle, and there is a rat, okay, and after some time, like suppose within 5 minutes it happened, but within 5 minutes candle was also burning, like it wasn't extinguished and rat was also alive. So guys, what is the meaning of that? Cat is also alive, candle was also burning, and plant is also there here. So guys, yes, what can you conclude here? So he concluded that what? Can we say a burning candle or an animal that breathes the air? So we can say the plant is giving something. Yes. So the plant is responsible for their, I mean, this situation. They were not dying. So that's why Priestley finally said that plant restore to the air whatever breathing any whatever the like these animals were taking or burning candle. Okay. So finally, Joseph Priestley said that plant restores something. Plants restore plants restore to the air whatever breathing animal like the rat and burning candle remove and the burning candle, right? So of course it was oxygen. So finally we can also conclude that the plant is actually releasing the oxygen gas, isn't it, guys? So we can also say the same. So it is done by which scientist, guys? Joseph Priestley. Guys, is that clear, everybody? Now, after the Joseph Priestley, actually we can say that there is something. He conclude like he clearly didn't say anything, but he said that plant is storing something, and it has relation with air. Okay, so there is some relation in the air, and that is taken up by the rat and the candle, but not oxygen, because that time we were not aware about the oxygen that much. That's why. Okay. Yes, exactly. No, no, oxygen was there. Oxygen was there, Urvi, but we are not aware like we were taking the oxygen, or they were also taking the oxygen. Fire also take oxygen. We were not aware with that. Now, after that, another scientist came. Scientist name was Jan Egenhaus. Pronunciation you can change according to you if you want to. Jan Egenhaus. I don't know what is happening to my pen. Just give me 1 minute. Jan Egenhaus. So Jan Egenhaus, so he also conducted the same experiment, but with the aquatic plant. Okay, so one was kept in the bright sunlight and one was kept in the dark. So he showed that the plant which was kept in the light, so some bubbles were formed around the green parts, but those plants which were kept in the dark, there is no bubble. So after some time later, these bubbles were identified as the oxygen bubbles. Okay. So the aquatic plant which was kept in the sunlight, so it was producing the bubbles, and the aquatic plant which was placed in the dark, it was doing nothing. There were no bubbles. So what does it mean? Can we say that? So he finally said that, or he finally showed that only the green plants, only the green plants, or you can say green parts, are producing the oxygen gas. Okay, are producing the which gas, guys? Oxygen gas. Is that clear, everybody? Jan Eganos. After that, another scientist came, Julius von Sack. So Julius von Sack. Yes. So I was saying about the Julius von Sack. So Julius von Sack was not female, remember? So he showed that the green substance, like the chlorophyll, so they are located in a very special bodies which are called chloroplast. Okay. So in 1854, so he proved certain evidences for the production of the glucose. So when glucose is actually stored in the form of the starch. Glucose is the monomer na, and starch is very complicated. So he also showed that glucose is stored in the form of starch, like in potato. Okay, and he also found that, like we can say simply, green parts of the plant are the places where glucose is made, of course, with the help of the photosynthesis, right? So Julius von Sack, so what he just showed, so he showed that green substances is located in the spatial bodies, right? What these are called? Green substance means what? Chlorophyll. So chlorophyll is present in what? Is located, yes, in spatial bodies, and these spatial bodies are known as chloroplast. Okay, and he also proved evidences for what? Glucoses are stored in what? Glucose is stored as in the form of what? Everybody, starch. Very good, Maniswini. Yes. What about the rest? People are not replying. What he just showed, he showed that, like, there was a production of glucose when you give the sunlight to the plant, or when plants usually grow, and glucose is stored in the form of the starch. So finally, can we say that he found that, Julius von Sack, so he found that the green parts of the plant, green parts of the plant are the places, are the places where glucose is made, starch is made, or both we can say. Yes, we can say both, right? Because glucose is simpler one and starch is the complex one, so we can say both. So, and it is directly indicating only the green parts of the plant, like leaves, where photosynthesis is taking place, right? Where photosynthesis is taking place, yes or no? Tell me. Okay. So guys, you know it very well. Like we have the chlorophylls. We have so many chlorophylls, na? Chlorophyll A, B, C, D, and we have certain necessary pigments also. Like except the chlorophyll, we have carotene, we have xanthophyll. So many type of the pigments we have, right, in the plant, isn't it? So guys, and you also know, I guess you have studied in the physics, like if you have the Vibgyor region, so all the light, violet, indigo, blue, so they have the same wavelength or the different wavelength? Tell me, do they have the same wavelength or different wavelength? Of course they have the different wavelength. So different wavelength have the different action spectrum. Like some light can absorb the some light can be absorbed by different chlorophyll, like by some extent. I mean, some chlorophyll are absorbing red radiation, some chlorophyll are absorbing red region light, but some are not absorbing light, like indigo, like green. So some chlorophyll have different criteria. Yes, so we can say exactly, is exactly, Shubhangi Maurya, very right. So that's why we can say, after that another scientist came, and the scientist name was Engelmann. Engelmann. So Engelmann, okay, we can split the light with the help of, I guess you have studied in your physics. We can split the light by using the prism. Am I right? Dispersion, splitting of white light into its seven color, which is called dispersion. I guess you have studied in your 10th class also, right? Okay. So we just this Engelman, I mean, he just observed that. Uh, Like there is a action spectrum of the photosynthesis. Action spectrum means where you will see the highest photosynthesis. So the action spectrum resemble roughly the he just showed chlorophyll A and chlorophyll B for the different wavelength of the light. Like which chlorophyll is showing good action spectrum for which kind of wavelength. Okay, so we can simply say action spectrum action spectrum. Yeah, we can say that each input wavelength gives out the different output with the help of the chlorophylls, because different wavelength, different chlorophyll have different outcomes. That's why. So it is better to say action spectrum of photosynthesis. I will show you the graph, then it would be quite easier for you to understand. Okay, so action spectrum of photosynthesis they explain. And so action spectrum is one thing and another is the absorption spectrum. See, if I am chlorophyll, so firstly I will absorb the light, yes or no? And if I absorb the more light effectively, then of course I will do the action also. I will do the action very much effectively, yes or no? So we have two kind of the spectrum. Okay, so first action spectrum of the photosynthesis, and second is the absorption spectrum by uh, like chlorophyll A and chlorophyll B. So we have the two kind of spectrum which will be study later of the light. Okay, mostly the Vibgyor region. Right, everybody? So Engelman basically discuss about the action spectrum and the absorption spectrum. Guys, are you getting or not? And we can obtain the different wavelength of light with the help of what? Can we say prism, dispersion? Remember, Engelman also conducted some experiment. Okay, so he was conducting some experiment on the bacteria. So he also saw that some bacteria was accumulating mainly in the region of the red and the blue. Do you know na Vibgyor region? Vibgyor region. Vibgyor. So remember this red region and this violet region, like violet to blue region, it is very important for the action and the absorption spectrum. Green, yellow, orange, it is just like not much important. Here you will see very less absorption spectrum, action spectrum. But blue region, I mean the starting and the ending, these two are very good for the action and the absorption spectrum. You will study later, don't worry. So guys, are you getting or not, everybody, about the Engelman? So Engelman scientifically discuss about the action and the absorption spectrum. Cool. Okay. So now after that, one more scientist and the last scientist, Cornelius Van Niel. Okay. Cornelius. Pronunciation may differ. Okay. So Cornelius Van Niel. So according to his experiment, okay, so his contribution was like you can say his contribution a milestone for understanding the concept of the photosynthesis. Okay, so guys, do you know the complete reaction of the photosynthesis? Like whenever you have the H2, whenever you have the CO2, okay, so it can perform the complete reaction. So he also finally gave the complete reaction of the photosynthesis. Okay, so he showed that the like photosynthesis is usually a light dependent reaction where hydrogen from the hydrogen donor reduces the carbon dioxide to the carbohydrate. You know na, carbon dioxide is getting reduced and it is forming carbohydrate, which is the glucose. Do you know the main reaction? So he was the scientist, Cornelius Van Niel. So he said that CO2 was reduced to the carbohydrate, which is C6H12O6. Okay, and it is done by the hydrogen because it is H2 is there. Okay, so he said H2O, which is a hydrogen donor, and it is the oxidized to the complete oxygen, right? Why? Because the H2O is also giving you the O2 na in the process of the photosynthesis. So he also explained complete this mechanism. And finally, he also gave the complete reaction equation of the photosynthesis. I guess you have studied in your 10th class when you were 6 CO2 plus 12 H2O. You can also say right now 6 H2O because you have studied the redox reaction, I guess. It is the same thing. In the presence of light, it is forming C6H12O6 plus 6H2. You know this, na? Have you studied the redox in chemistry? It is 6H2, it is 12H2O. So it means what? It means it is total 6H2O na? On the left side because it can go to this side. So 12 minus 6, it becomes 6 only. Okay, and it is 6O2. So you can also say that if you want 6CO2 plus 6H2O in the presence of the light, okay, it will form C6H12O6 plus 6O2. Got it, everybody? Light and the chlorophyll. Okay, so you will get all these things. Simple. Yes, any doubt in this? So the overall reaction was given by this Cornelius von Neil. So it was all about these scientists. Okay, now I am coming to the next topic, and its name is the site of the photosynthesis. So I guess you have seen that what is the site of the photosynthesis. I told you. Which scientist said that? Like chlorophyll is present in the chloroplast. Which scientist? I just told you. If you remember, Julius von Sack. Yes. So the site of the photosynthesis is chloroplast. Okay. So we can say, guys, photosynthesis take place mainly in the green leaves, right? And a very little extent in the green stem and the floral parts also. Like, of course, main is the green leaves because in the green leaves there is a chloroplast. But if your stem is also green, if your floral part is also green, then it can also conduct the photosynthesis. But mainly is the green leaves. Okay. So if I talk about the chloroplast structure, so how it look like? So see, we have, I'm just making a rough structure. Okay. So suppose this is chloroplast. So inside the chloroplast, there is a fluid, and this fluid is known as the stroma. Okay. So this is a chloroplast, and there is a fluid inside that. This fluid is known as the stroma. And I guess you know it. There is a structure like coin. So this coin-like structure, these are called the thylakoids. Okay. So one single coin-like structure is called thylakoid, and there are so many coin-like structure like this. Can you just see that? So these are known as the grana. Okay. So these single coin-like structure, they are called the thylakoid, and collection of these thylakoid, they are called grana. I mean granum is the one, and so many you will call it as grana. So they are quite well connected. They are quite well connected to each other. You are saying why only green plant conduct photosynthesis? Because only the green part of the plant has the chlorophyll, and for the photosynthesis they need chlorophyll compulsory. That's why, Shubhangi Maurya, only green plants are green. Why? Because of the chlorophyll, and chlorophyll are present in the chloroplast. Okay, That's why they are only able to conduct this reaction. Is just called photosynthesis. So guys, what I just told you, can you just see that this single coin like structure, this is called thylakoid, and when there is a collection of these thylakoid layers, it is called grana. Am I right? Grana. And these granas are connected by these connections, and these connections are called stroma lamellae. Okay, yes, you can say that also. So because this complete is the stroma, so we can say these connection is also called stroma lamellae. Actually this single is known as the granum, but there are so many granum, that's why we call it as grana. And this is the outer layer of the chloroplast, this is inner layer of the chloroplast. Right everybody? So this is a complete structure, and of course it is filled with the chlorophyll. So guys, this chloroplast is basically align themselves along the wall of the mesophyll cells, right? And it is arranged in such a manner so that they can get the maximum incident light. Okay, they are arranged in such a way that they will get the maximum light. So guys, are you getting that? Can we say it is thylakoid? Thylakoid membrane. And thylakoid membrane forms what? I told you one single layer is called granum, and so many granum is called grana. This is called what? Connections. These connections are called stroma lamellae. The fluid which is filled inside that, it is called, there is a fluid in that, it is called stroma, right? And the outer and inner layer, of course, you know it. So guys, is that clear? So there is a pigment, of course. These pigment are distributed in these membrane system. Okay. So I hope it is clear to everybody. Site of the photosynthesis, which is a chloroplast. Am I right, everybody? And when you were in the ninth class, you studied as a part of the plastid, chloroplast, chromoplast, colorful, leucoplast for the storing. Okay. Now we are coming to the next portion. Yes, chloroplasts are only present in the leaves, but if any structure is green, if any structure which is green, so it may contain chloroplast and it can also perform the photosynthesis. Okay. No, if stem and other things are green, okay, then and sunlight is also falling on that, then of course it can perform photosynthesis. So yes, it may if it is green. Yes, yes. In the juvenile green branches, you can say that because it is quite a small portion. Yes, so it may contain, but after growing up, it is completely specified. Okay, specific location for a specific function. A specific function should be there for a specific location. So that's why. Now we are coming to the next portion, which is about the pigment. Guys, I just recently told we have the main pigment. What is that main pigment? I just told you about the main pigment. Can I say chlorophyll A, which is a universal pigment? And it may contain some accessory pigment also, right? Nearby the main pigment, like xanthophyll, carotene, yes or no? So pigments involved in the photosynthesis. So we have a chromatographic separation leaf pigments, like with the help of the chromatography. So we have separated many pigments. So with the help of the chromatography, you have studied in the ninth class, na? Second chapter chromatography, like with the which are dissolved in the same solvent. So because of the solubility, we can separate them. Okay. So with the help of the chemistry techniques, we have separated them. So we have a main pigment like chlorophyll A, same chlorophyll B, And I guess in the chapter number 3, you have studied the rotophacy, phaeophacy, chlorophacy, where chlorophyll A, B, C were used. Remember or not? Oh, you forgot. Carotene and the xanthophyll. Yes, algae. Rhodophaceae, chlorophaceae, and phaeophaceae. Yes, Hita. Okay. So these are the accessory pigments. Okay. Chlorophyll A is at the center and the rest pigments are like this. Okay. Like this. So these are known as the accessory pigment. They absorb the light and transfer it to the main pigment, which is chlorophyll A. So accessory pigment also absorb the light and transfer it to the A. Okay. So if I talk about the chlorophyll A pigment, guys, so chlorophyll A is what? It is like if I talk about here, I am writing like this chlorophyll A. So this chlorophyll A is bright green. Okay. And bluish green chlorophyll A. If I talk about the chlorophyll B, so it is yellowish green, yellowish green. If I talk about the xanthophyll or the carotenoid, I mean carotene. So carotene, xanthophyll is definitely yellow. Spelling is wrong, I guess. Xantho. One second. Xanthophyll. So xanthophyll is yellow. Okay. And carotene is, carotene can be of three types. Like it can be of yellow, it can be of yellow orange, or maybe reddish. Okay, guys, is that clear? So these are the properties of the chlorophyll. I hope you are getting, guys. Okay. So these are the properties of like these are the appearance of these pigments: A, B, C, D, universal pigment, main pigment, and the accessory pigments. Yes. So guys, here, so yes, we have discussed about the chlorophyll. So guys, you have to see that chlorophyll A is the main pigment. Okay. Chlorophyll, or you can just simply chlorophyll. Chlorophyll spelling is right according to me, I guess. Is the chief pigment. Chief, you can say the main pigment. Main pigment. Okay. Associated with the photosynthesis. Associated with photosynthesis. But while if I talk about the accessory pigment, so you can say while chlorophyll B, chlorophyll B, carotenoid, carotenoid, they act, or xanthophyll, they act as a accessory pigment. Okay. What is the meaning of the accessory pigments? Like which are surrounding the main pigment, right? Because chlorophyll A is the main target pigment, main pigment, and surrounding this chlorophyll A, you will see accessory pigments. Okay, guys, got it? Yes. Okay. So if I talk about chlorophyll, so chlorophyll basically absorb light. So I told you already there are two main region. So chlorophyll absorb light at which region? Just tell me. There are two main regions. Chlorophyll absorb light. Tell me these two main regions. Can we say at the red region and at the blue region? So chlorophyll absorb light at the red and blue regions. Are you getting, guys? So the absorption spectrum and the action spectrum coincide closely, and they are showing photosynthesis at the maximum at how many regions? If I say photosynthesis would be maximum, so at how many regions? Tell me. Photosynthesis would be maximum at how many regions? Yes, two regions, and these regions are. And why is it so? So can we say because absorption spectrum and action spectrum is higher only in these two regions, that's why photosynthesis is also higher? Can we say that? So photosynthesis would be maximum, or it is maximum at these two region, blue and red region of spectrum. That's why spectrum means the complete band. So I can show you with the help of the graph. Okay, so if I showed you a graph, suppose, so I am showing you the wavelength here. Okay, this is your wavelength at the x-axis in nanometer. Okay, and it is the absorption spectrum, absorption of the light by the different pigment, absorption of light by different pigments, by pigments. Okay, so guys, if I show you the chlorophyll A, I'm just making the roughly, okay, not the exact one. So if I show you the chlorophyll A, so chlorophyll A graph was something like this. Something. So just tell me, there are two regions now. Wavelength. Can I say there are these two regions? Okay. So for the red light, wavelength is higher or lesser? For the red light, wavelength is higher or lesser? For the red light. So it means if wavelength is higher, okay. So we can say red region and this is the blue region. So at the red region and the blue region both are higher. The absorption is higher, na? Can you see that? Okay, so this is basically about the chlorophyll A. If I talk about the chlorophyll B, so suppose this is the chlorophyll B. Chlorophyll B is something like this. So it is still action absorption spectrum is higher. Only at which region? At which region? Can I say red and blue region? We also have the carotenoids. So if I show you the carotenoids, so their graph is, this is the approximate graph. Of course, an exact graph would be very difficult. I mean, not very difficult, but it would work. Okay, like something like this. For the carotenoid, it is not a red region. So this is carotenoid. Okay, this is a chlorophyll B. This is a chlorophyll A. So approximately, if you see, so where are you getting the maximum light? I mean maximum absorption. Where are you getting the maximum absorption? Where are we getting the maximum absorption? Can I say blue and the red region? Only these two regions are. Guys, can you hear my voice? So if you see this region, okay, and if you see this region, these two region, so at these two region you will, can we say it is a maximum absorption, and this is also the maximum absorption, but I mean it is less than the blue region, but still, okay, so these are the higher peak. So can we say this is what, this is red region and this is the blue region? Guys, are you getting my point or not? But there is no, I mean if you say green, yellow, there is no peak. Okay, it is the lowest, absorption is quite low. So because of the experiment, because of the graph which we performed experimentally, okay, so we saw such things. Okay, you can say less, quite less. um we can't say like nothing, but you can say quite less, Hita. Okay, don't say nothing because they are also light. Okay, so it is quite less, not you can't say nothing. Okay, so we have seen that these pigments about the main and the accessory. So with the help of these pigment, okay, just tell me, in the plant there is only one pigment or so many pigment? In the plant there is only one pigment or so many pigment? Multiple pigments. So there is a arrangement of these pigment in plants. Okay, so these pigments are organized in a very different way, number of ways in the thylakoid membrane. Okay, so according to that, according to these arrangement, according to the like how they are organized, so we have two kind of system. Okay, so pigment arrangement are organized, are divided into the two main type of arrangement. First arrangement is known as the photosystem 1, and the second arrangement is known as the photosystem 2. Okay, so what are these photosystem 1 and photosystem 2? So these are the arrangement of these pigments. Okay, so don't get confused here. So in the plants have the photosystems, and what these are. So photosystem means it, photosystem is these, like it is a kind of like pigment arrangement, right? Arrangement of pigments, or we can say pigment arrangement, different kind of arrangement. Okay, so we can say pigments are, we can say pigments are organized in the thylakoid membrane, in the thylakoid membrane into how many units? Into, can I say into two discrete unit? Two discrete unit, and you can say two discrete photo systems. And these two photo systems are, first we can say photosystem 1, photosystem 1, and second we can say photosystem 2. Am I right? So guys, of course we will discuss how the arrangement is there, but right now you have to remember PS1 and PS2. So each system has, of course they would have a main, one pigment is definitely should there. Can you tell me guys? One pigment is compulsory. Of course, both have the chlorophyll A, but many other pigment will be bounded by this chlorophyll A, right? So there can be so many, like of course reaction center. I just told you, I told you in the today's class, right? So center is always chlorophyll A, which is called reaction center. But surrounding this center, there are so many other pigments, right? And so many other pigments are known as the LHC. So many pigments are known as LHC. LHC means what? Light harvesting complex. So surrounding the main chlorophyll A, there are so many pigment which surround this, and these are called light harvesting complex. So light harvesting complex is completely same in both the system, or it should be different for both the system? What do you think? Chlorophyll A is same, but light harvesting complex should differ in both the system, or it should same in both the system? Yes, slightly different. Okay. What about others? Of course, different. If they are same, then why do we need to make these two photosystem? Okay, different. If a, yes, of course, chlorophyll A is same, but because there are basically two photosystem, so of course LHC should also be different. LHC should also contain different type of pigment, and these LHC is also known as the antenna. Okay, it is also called an antenna. Like antenna basically capture the signal, so same thing, they are also capturing the light and transferring it to the reaction center. Same like antenna is transferring signal to the TV, old TV. Do you know 19th century television? Antenna was there. So it is also known as antenna. And it has seen that photosystem 1 absorb light more effectively at 700 nanometer. So that's why PS1 is also known as P700. PS700. And PS second absorb the light 680 nanometer most effectively. Okay. So it absorbs the light as 700 nanometer. That's why it is also called PS700. And it absorbs the 680. That's why it called PS. Or you can say P, not PS. You can say P700 and P680. Okay. So P700 for the 700 nanometer and P680 for. Is that clear? So can we say PS1 is also known as P700, PS1 or P700, PS2, or we can also say P680. Yes or no, everybody? Any doubt in this? So guys, now we are moving towards the most important portion, which is the mechanism of photosynthesis. Okay. So if I talk about mechanism of photosynthesis. So mechanism of photosynthesis basically of two type, am I right? First is the light reaction and second is the dark reaction. I know you haven't heard about these two reaction before, but I want to tell you something. Whenever we say photosynthesis is taking place, so actually it take place in two stages. First is the light reaction, second is the dark reaction. And it doesn't mean that light reaction take place in the light and dark reaction take place in the dark. It doesn't mean that. Light reaction means which is completely dependent on the light. Without light it can't take place, so it is known as light reaction. And the dark reaction means it is not depending upon light, whether light is present or not. Yes, what I was saying, dark reaction is the reaction which is not depending upon the light. Okay. whether light is present or light is not present. Okay, dark reaction can take place anytime. Okay, in simple language we can say चाहे light हो या ना हो, dark reaction जब चाहे तब हो सकती है. Dark reaction can take place at any time whenever it want to, but light reaction is completely depending on the light, and it can take place only when the light is present. Okay, are you getting my point, everybody? Hita, Shubham, Tamanna. Okay, so which is dependent on the light and which is independent of the light? Of course, we can say light is dependent on the light reaction is depending on the light, and dark is independent. Does it mean that dark reaction take place only at dark? Can we say? Is this statement right? Dark reaction take place at dark only. Are you sure, Arya? No, Arya, you are wrong. It can take place even in light and without light also. Both are there. That is what I am saying. Even if light is present, dark can take place. Okay, it is just like it is not getting affected by the light. Okay, so independent. Yes, very good. Independent of light. Like there is an old saying, हमें अपना देखना होता है, चाहे और लोग कुछ भी करें हमें उससे कोई मतलब नहीं है. Right? So it is the same thing. Dark is not depending on the others. Right? So it is dependent on the light. Okay, now, so guys, light reaction is also known as the photochemical phase. Photochemical phase. And dark reaction is called biosynthetic phase. Biosynthetic phase. Okay, so we have total two phases, light reaction and the dark reaction, and there. Okay, now what these are, guys, you know it very well. Our main thing is when CO2 is getting reduced to the glucose C6H12O6. Okay, so when CO2 is getting reduced to the carbohydrate glucose, then so is it a easy process? Can you think that CO2 is converting into glucose? What do you think? Isn't it a miracle? So guys, CO2 is getting reduced, so it's a big miracle, na? So that's why. So what do you think? It is requiring high energy or low energy for this conversion? If you want to convert CO2 to glucose, so it is taking high energy or less energy? Of course, it is taking high energy, right? So that's why in the light reaction, two things are happening. First, generation of high energy. Generation of high energy. Just give me 1 second. 1 second. Generation of high energy. And how generation of high energy is taking place? It's a complete process. I will tell you. And how? So there is another process. Its name is the photolysis of water. Breakdown of the water. Photolysis of H2. Okay, so in the light reaction mainly two events are happening. First, photolysis of water. From this photolysis of water, electrons is coming, and because of the electron there is a generation of high energy. How? I will tell you, don't worry at all. So only these two events are taking place. And in the dark reaction, This high energy is being utilized for the reduction of carbon dioxide to the glucose. Are you getting my point, everybody? So glucose is formed in which reaction? Light reaction or the dark reaction? Adorable students. Of course, the dark. Okay. So just tell me, light is depending on the dark or dark is depending on the light? What do you think? Light reaction is depending on the dark or dark is on the light? Yes, because dark reaction need high energy and high energy is coming from the light after the photolysis of water. Right, everybody? So can we say that photosynthetic phase, which is means dark reaction, does not directly depend upon the light, but yes, it is depending upon the product of the light? Can we say that dark reaction is not depending on the light, but yes, it is depending on the products of the light reaction, like the ATP, right? Energy. See here, we have the two currencies of the ATP. Two currencies of the energy, adenosine triphosphate, and there is a nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide phosphate. So, okay, so we have the two kinds of energy currency. So it is being produced in which reaction? Light reaction or the dark reaction? These are being produced by which reaction? Light. Okay, after the photolysis of water. Guys, are you getting or not my point? Everybody, are you getting that? And in the dark reaction, can we say that carbon dioxide is reduced to the carbon dioxide is being reduced to the carbohydrate? So there are two kind of energy currencies which are producing in the light reaction. Can we say that adenosine triphosphate and nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide phosphate, NADPH and ATP? Any doubt in this? So guys, let's come to the part, okay, which is the light reaction. So in the light reaction, what I just told, what is happening? Can we say that photolysis of water is taking place? And second step is generation of high energy. So generation of high energy is known as the photophosphorylation, and photolysis of water is known as the photolysis of water only. So let's take light reaction, which is the photolysis of water first. So I just told you recently, I just told photolysis of water is producing what? Photolysis of water is basically producing what? Okay, so can we say that when P680, okay, which is the P680 means, can we say photosystem 1 or 2? Photolysis of water means what? Photosystem 1 or 2? 680? What? Are you sure? I don't know what happened to the people. Are you guys really listening what I am asking and what you are replying? 680 means photosystem 2. So when it is absorbing sufficient of an amount of energy means light energy. So when it is absorbing, when P60 absorbs sufficient light energy, then what is happening? So it is excited, right? So when it is excited, so it will transfer the electron to the electron acceptor. See, we have a complete electron transport system here. We will tell you what is that. So right now, whatever I'm just saying, just listen carefully first. So it is absorbing the light energy. Then after absorbing the light, it is producing, or you can say it is getting excited. So it is excited, and it will remove the water. I mean, it will remove the electron. So it, after getting excited, it basically release electron and then transfer it to the electron to the electron acceptor. I will tell you what is that. Electron acceptor actually present in a system which is called electron transport system. Okay. So what is happening in this? We have the water. Okay. So this water is getting splitted in the presence of the light, and it is producing the like 2H plus. It is producing half O2, half molecule. If it is 2H plus, so obviously it is producing 2 electron. Am I right? Yes or no? So this is a like it is why it is getting splitted because of the light. Yes or no? So can we say the light dependent splitting of water is known as the photolysis of water, and it is producing the electron, and then this electron is accepted by the electron acceptor which is present in a system, electron transport system. We will tell you about this. Don't worry at all right now. Okay. And oxygen is also getting released. It is a like byproduct of the photosynthesis. You know it. Photosystem like in the photosynthesis it will release the oxygen. Guys, I know you are getting confused, but it is the just the beginning. Don't worry at all. When you have any kind of like when you have the water, so when you are illuminating with the light, so it is getting splitted. So it is producing 2H plus, 2 electron and 2 O2. O2, you know it very well. In the photosynthesis, O2 is released. 2H plus will be utilized in some other process which is called chemiosmotic hypothesis. I will tell you. And these two electrons are going into the electron transport system. And when these electrons are going to the electron transport system, then it is producing the energy. Whenever electrons are going to the electron transport system, then it always produces the energy. Okay. And you can say electron transport chain. So electron transport chain, it is actually a combination of the pigments which may contain photosystem 1, photosystem 2, or only one, and it help in the production of the energy. Okay. So guys, just tell me, in the light reaction we have completed the photolysis of water, yes or no? Photolysis of water is done now. So now what we have to see, what was the second step? I told you, in the light reaction what was the second step? Generation of high energy. No, 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 no. Okay, good. The second step was the generation of high energy na. Photosystem 2 will be utilized, don't worry. So if I talk about second step was, you forgot I told you na, photolysis and then generation of high energy, ATP and NADPH. You remember everybody? Are you sleeping, guys? Why do I get the feeling that you people are sleeping? Are you sleeping? So how many energy currencies here? How many currencies? Okay. So generation of energy can be done. So this process is known as actually photophosphorylation. 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 So photo for nothing. There is nothing to be confused in this portion. You just need to remember water is getting splitted and it is forming electron, nothing else. 2H plus, half O2 and 2 electrons. Okay, just the splitting of water, nothing else. Now those two electrons were utilized in this process for production of energy. This is what I just said. Am I right, everybody? So photophosphorylation, firstly just write everybody. It is the process of, right, in the photophosphorylation, It is the process of formation of ATP in the chloroplast. It is the process of formation of ATP in the chloroplast, making use of the light energy. Making use of the light energy. Guys, do you know where does this photolysis of water is take place? Yeah, or you can say is taking place. Have you ever seen the thylakoid membrane in the chloroplast? I just told you. So thylakoid membrane has a like you saw two layers, na, outer or inner layer. So at this at these membranes, this photolysis take place. So you can say that you can just note it down. Photolysis of water. Yeah, you can say that. Yeah, or you can say that we will take this later. So you can just right now, as we were talking about the photophosphorylation, guys. So just remember, you can write it down. Photophosphorylation occur in two ways. Forget about the membrane because I will take it in chemiosmotic hypothesis. Just right now, note it down. Photophosphorylation take place in two ways. First is the non-cyclic, another is the cyclic. First is the cyclic, another is the non-cyclic. Okay. So guys, we have non-cyclic phosphorylation and we have the cyclic phosphorylation. So what is the main aim of these two type of processes? What is the main use of these type of process? Just tell me. Can we say that? Can we say that? See, non-cyclic means which is not coming back to the original state. So suppose if you have a photosystem 2, okay. So in the photosystem 2, of course, you know that there is a chlorophyll A and there is a accessory pigments, okay. And photolysis is taking place here, okay. So whenever the whenever the water is getting uh, broken down here, so it is producing the electrons. So these electrons are going to the PS second, and then it is entering into the electron transport chain which is present in the plants, okay. I told you these electrons are accepted by which one? Electrons are formed from the water, then it is accepted by what? Can I say primary electron acceptor? Primary electron acceptor, I told you, because it has entered into the electron transport chain. So now this electron is going to the different pathways, okay. There is a lot of you can say pigments like cytochrome b1, cytochrome, phytocyanin, and there is then there would be a another photosystem ps1, and then again the light is getting fall on this, and again it is these electron are going to the again the primary electron acceptor, okay, and then it is producing energy. See, at this step, at this step, because when the electron are passing to the ETS, or you can say ETC, electron transport chain, then ADP is combining with the phosphate and it is producing ATP. This is what I want, okay. When you pass the electron in the electron transport chain, then it is or then it is producing energy. Don't it is not your body. Don't relate it with your animal body. Our body has different phenomena and plant body has different phenomena. So that's why they have some different phenomena which is called electron transport chain. And when the electrons are going in this electron transport chain, then it is forming ATP, okay. Now when it is going to the PS second, then it is accepted by the primary electron acceptor, and now then it is producing NADPH. From where? So they are producing the NADP, and when it is combining with the two hydrogen, then it is forming the NADPH, okay. So just tell me, guys, ATP is getting formed, NADPH is also getting formed. So isn't it the same thing which we want? Production of high energy, production of the energy. Yes or no, everybody? When light is falling on the PS2, so water is going to be broken down. Electron are going, electrons are produced, and now it is going and entering into the electron transport system, or you can say electron transport chain. Then it is passing through the so many pigments, and then at this step it is producing ATP to ATP. Now light, this electron is going to the PS2, and then it is accepted by the acceptor, and now you can say NADP is combining with the H plus, and it is forming the NADPH. So finally you will get NADPH and ATP, yes or no? Which you really want? Of course light is also getting fall on this. Okay, so guys, just tell me which you got, which you got. So now I know graphics are not so clear, but still it will give you the idea. See, can we just see that see here, we have the photo system too, right? Water breakdown also take place here, and from the electrons. So electron is accepted by the primary acceptor. This is what? This is written as primary acceptor, and then there is a series of pigments. It is called electron transport chain. Am I right? So the PQ means what? Plastoquinin, plastocyanin, PC, cytochrome complex. These are the pigment. Okay. So when the electron is passing through this, so what I told you, ATP is getting produced here. Energy. Can you just see? It is written over here. ATP. So from here to here, can we say ADP is forming the ATP? I told you na, I showed you in the previous slide. And then it is a photosystem 1. When it is a photosystem 1, then it is accepted by the primary acceptor, right? Then there is a again pigment, and finally it is producing the NADP to NADPH. So it is also energy currency, yes or no, guys? So finally, can we say ATP is getting produced, NADPH is also getting produced? So our target is accomplished, or you can say we have achieved our target. And what was the target? Production of the energy. Yes or no, everybody? So yes. So just tell me, is it coming back to the this photo system? Is it coming back to the photo system? No, it is not coming. It is like a Z type. Z. It isn't it? Like it is starting from here and like this. It is a kind of N, or you can say Z if you're watching from here. So it is not coming back. So that's why it is a non-cyclic phosphorylation. Okay. But if I talk about the phosphorylation, I mean cyclic phosphorylation. So cyclic phosphorylation means no. This was the non-cyclic. If I talk about the cyclic, so cyclic should come back or not? Cyclic phosphorylation should come back or not? So now we have directly the PS1. So when the like when you give the light to this PS system 1, so it is producing the electron, two electrons. It is accepted by the electron acceptor, right? This electron acceptor is passing its electron to the complex which is called cytochrome B complex, and now it is coming back. Now it is coming back. But remember, at this step, it is producing the ATP only the ATP. So ADP plus phosphate, it is producing ATP. Okay. So is it producing NADPH? Can you see any NADPH here? Anywhere in this reaction? No. And the electron is coming back to the initial one, yes or no? Electron is coming back to the PS1. So just tell me, it should be cyclic or non-cyclic? Of course, it should be cyclic and it is very, very easy. Antenna molecules are there. I told you, light harvesting complex, and there is a central light. This is LHC and antenna. And finally, when they are taking the light, electron is getting excited. Electron is going to the electron acceptor. Okay, from the electron acceptor, electrons are passing through the complex which is called cytochrome B. Okay, and cytochrome B, after the cytochrome B, it is going to the again PS1. So so it means from the cytochrome B to PS1, it is producing the ATP from the ADP plus phosphate, right? So it is cyclic or not, everybody? It is cyclic or not? Of course, it is cyclic, right? So so just tell me, in which process in which process energies production is quite high? Non-cyclic or the cyclic? Non-cyclic or the cyclic? In this process, you can see only ATP is getting produced and NADPH is approximately equal to 3 ATP. So just tell me which one is higher? Which one is higher? Cyclic or non-cyclic? Of course, in the non-cyclic, ATP was also produced and NADPH was also produced, which is equivalent to 3 ATP. But in the non-cyclic, only ATP is getting produced. So guys, we have discussed about the light phases, yes or no? We have discussed about the complete light phases. So now we have to study only about the reduction of the carbon dioxide now in the dark phase, and it require all these energies which is produced in the light phases. Am I right, everybody? So only like the dark phase we will discuss in our next class. Okay, so we have completed our light phase. So guys, just tell me, these photo system is taking the light. Without light, can they do the all these process? In the previous non-cyclic and cyclic, they are taking light. So why? Because they are dependent on the light. That's why. But the dark phase, it is not taking light like that. They are taking only the energy, which are basically produced by these processes. Are you getting, everybody? Any single doubt here? Any single doubt here? Guys, can you hear my point? Okay.